Hey, you all, Carpetbagger here, coming to you live from the south. More specifically, we are in Lake Junaluska, North Carolina, standing next to Lake Junaluska. Now, I've been on quite a bit of traveling the past week or so. I went down to Florida on a whim. I filmed for 4 days straight. I filmed an amusement park every day, and it's fun. It's always fun getting out there. It's fun in the summertime. Everything's opened up. You know, I've been waiting. Feels like I've been waiting forever for stuff to open up. Seems like the first 6 months of any given year, most of the stuff is closed. But once Memorial Day hits, everything is open, and I get super excited and start charging around, driving my car that I now have back up and down that long, lonesome road, looking for amusement parks and other attractions, other summertime attractions. But I decided today I was going to take it easy. I am back near my home, and I figured we'd go for a walk here around the lake, and we can talk about some things. Yeah, I used to come out here almost every day back when I was home more. I would walk around the lake. There's a couple different places I like to walk, and this is definitely a beautiful place to go for a stroll around the lake. Walk across the dam here. Cars actually can drive over top the dam, but it's a one-way bridge, so it's pretty, as far as one-way bridges go, it's pretty long. So if you see a car coming, you have to wait over here until it passes, and then you can go one car at a time. And you see over here we got the lake, the dammed up lake on this side, and then over there it's just a drop where the water runs off the other side into a river. You can actually see there's a truck crossing over the dam. And then we got some adorable baby ducks. Looks like mama ducks kind of leaving them behind, maybe trying to get them to learn to fend for themselves a little bit. So riding the roller coasters makes me very nostalgic in a way. If you can, I don't know, is there a negative form of nostalgia? What would it's like nostalgia, but not a warm and fuzzy feeling, a cold, terrifying feeling. What's that feeling called? Leave a comment in the comments section. But yeah, you guys watch me on the roller coasters and watch me screaming on the roller coasters, and you may think that I hate roller coasters, and I think hate's a strong word. I am not a huge roller coaster enthusiast. I am a fan of theme parks, amusement parks. You know, my love of theme parks and amusement parks kind of came from my love of dark rides. I'm really very much a dark ride enthusiast, but you get to the park, you see these big, tall roller coasters, and you know, you want to try them out. And you know, it's fun to document it, the historic roller coasters, and you know, some of the non-historic roller coasters. And I do, believe it or not, I do enjoy, occasionally I do get a small bit of enjoyment out of riding a roller coaster. I really loved the Pipeline at SeaWorld. I was interested because I read some other reviews, because I'm like, this is one of my favorite roller coasters ever. And then I read some reviews, and a lot of the like hardcore roller coaster enthusiasts seemed more unimpressed than I thought they would be. And you know, that's a different world. You know, obviously I do vlogs about amusement parks, theme parks, so there's quite a bit of crossover between me and roller coaster enthusiasts. And I've been watching, you know, I do watch some of the roller coaster enthusiast videos, the hardcore roller coaster fans, to kind of try to understand roller coasters a little better. And it turns out a lot of the things that hardcore roller coaster enthusiasts love about roller coasters are the same things that I hate. So when you're going over like a thing and then you go down and you feel like you're flying up out of your seat, I hate that. That's really scary. Turns out that's like the roller coaster enthusiasts, that's like one of their favorite things that happens. I don't know, I'm trying to bridge the gap, trying to understand and educate myself. And any roller coaster enthusiasts out there, of course, educate me in the comment section, because I'm still learning with this roller coaster thing. Because I was talking about the bad form of nostalgia, and that's an exaggeration, because because I've told the story before, and my dad gets irritated at me for telling it, that I really hated amusement parks. I really hated roller coasters. I really hated amusement parks growing up. And in fact, if you want to go back even further, I really hated dark rides even at one point. So kind of a crazy turnaround my life has done. Anyone that knew me as a kid would not believe that I'm making a living going to amusement parks and riding roller coasters. But yeah, so when I was younger, when I would say maybe middle school aged, my family, my paternal family, started a tradition of going to Six Flags Great America in Illinois. And I had not been to a lot of amusement parks. I had been to Disney, and I actually hated my first trip to Disney. Maybe that may be a story for a different time, because we're talking about roller coasters here. But my family took me. We would take the yearly trip to Six Flags Great America in Gurnee, Illinois, and a lot of my family loved roller coasters. That's why they went. I had avoided roller coasters. I didn't. They seemed scary to me. I thinking back in my head, I think I had been on roller coasters as a much younger child, but there was a huge gap between, you know, me being a very young child, me being in middle school, and not having rode any roller coasters in the meantime. So I worked up the courage and I went on a roller coaster. It's a roller coaster called the Whizzer. It's at Six Flags Great America. It's still there. You can still ride it, and it's not a very intense roller coaster. It's kind of silly. It's very, very slow, very basic. Actually, it's not basic. It's kind of I think it's a one-of-a-kind, unique roller coaster. But as far as intensity goes, it would be very, very mild, I believe. And I went on this roller coaster, and my brain melted. I hated every second of it. It was like kind of like a bobsled type ride, and I was sitting in the bobsled with my cousin Stephanie, who loves roller coasters, and she was kind of talking me up into trying roller coasters because she loved them so much. And she started putting her hands in the air. I would scream at her, "Put your hands down." I remember when we went around the first curve, I thought I had flown out. I thought I had been ejected, because I had never felt that feeling of going around the curve. I thought I had been ejected from the roller coaster to my doom. But then when I realized I was alive, I was still terrified. And I hated roller coasters. My dad found me. I was clinging to the railing in the line. And my dad couldn't believe I was so distraught from the roller coaster ride. And I pretty much from that point on, I was like, "Oh, I'm not doing that again." And of course, my family would try to talk me into going on roller coasters. My family would, certain members of my family, because I don't want to name names, certain members of my family would tease me for being afraid of roller coasters. I remember we were sitting on rocking chairs at Six Flags, and my cousin turns to me and goes, "Is this too intense for you?" So, being teased. I remember the following year, I didn't even want to go. I begged my dad to let me stay home. You know, he told me, you know, you gotta come to Six Flags, you gotta see everyone's gonna be there. But I like didn't want, I was so nervous about, you know, being pressured to be on a roller coaster. And yeah, because of that, I begged. I did end up going. I didn't ride any roller coasters. I remember seeing the Batman stunt show. That was pretty fun, but I did not partake in any roller coasters. And really, I would not ride roller coasters again. I would not ride another roller coaster again until I was in my 20s, and I went to Disney World, and it was the first time I've been to Disney World since I was probably in first grade, so it was a huge gap. I was in my 20s, and so this was the first time going back after quite some time, you know, possibly like 20 years or something like that. And I went back to Disney World, and went with my mom's family, you know, some of my brother, my sister, my sister's husband. They rode roller coasters. You know, it was no big deal. The roller coasters at Disney aren't very intense, but they rode the roller coasters there. Remember, they rode Big Thunder Mountain. Of course, there's Space Mountain. I skipped out. I was like, I can't do it. I'd wanted to try them out, but I still had that fear inside me that I'd remember from the roller coaster. So I did not end up riding it that day. But that night, everyone went back to the hotel rooms, and on that same trip, that's where I really fell in love with Disney. That same day, even though I was afraid to go on the roller coasters, I was at the same time falling in love with Disney, riding those classic dark rides, and I'm like, yeah, I love this place. But after everyone else left, I went and I looked at the roller coasters. I went to Big Thunder Mountain. I looked at Big Thunder Mountain, and I don't know, built it. I can do this. You know, there's little kids on the ride. I can swing this. So I got in the seat, and I was so terrified. So when I was sitting in the seat, you got your restraint here, but I like grabbed onto the side, pushed my feet down, basically locked myself in as tight as I could by just the pressure of pushing up back onto myself with my hands and my legs, and just locking myself in there as tight as I could with my own muscles. And that was really dumb. That's not a good way to ride a roller coaster, because you're just taking, when you're tense like that and you're locked into the seat, you're just gonna feel every jolt and every bump. So it was painful. It was painful. I rode it again though, and I noticed the second time, when I loosened up a little bit, it didn't hurt as much. So I almost made the decision that roller coasters were too painful, but it turns out that I was just riding them wrong. So, and then that night, I rode every thrill ride at Magic Kingdom. I rode Big Thunder Mountain, Space Mountain, Splash Mountain. They're all mountains, aren't they? And so at that point, you know, it opened a new world to me. The thrill rides, at least at Disney. And then Disney's a good starting point, by the way. If you're afraid of roller coasters, if you don't want to go on big roller coasters like they have at Six Flags, go to Disney World. That's a good place to start. They have the highly themed rides, which are enjoyable. They're mellow. They're really mellow. I mean, I wouldn't have believed that at the time, but they're very, very mellow. They're pretty much all can be ridden by people of all ages. So that's kind of how I worked myself up into being able to ride roller coasters, and then visiting theme parks to find dark rides. You know, that's kind of like, okay, well, I should ride the roller coaster. And especially like if they would let me film, like if I could use my GoPro or my Osmo Action Cam to film, I thought, oh, this is great footage. The funny thing is, I used to watch POVs of roller coasters on online, because I was too scared to ride them, so I wanted to see what they're like. And I literally could not watch the POVs. I mean, I could watch them a little bit. I would literally turn my head And when they like went the big drops and things like that, I would like turn my head, my hands would shake watching the roller coasters. I couldn't believe that people put themselves through that. So I don't know, I think that is poetic in a way, to being the one member of the family that wouldn't get on the roller coaster, the one member of the family that was too scared to get on the roller coasters. And I go from there watching POVs of roller coasters, barely able to watch it because I'm too scared. And now for my job, for what I do for a living, I'm riding roller coasters. That's a pretty, I don't know, it's a strange way that this life takes us. So we're walking along here. A lot of these benches or different objects dedicated to people putting the names of their lost loved ones on these. I think this is a fountain, I think. I don't think it's currently operating. This is a pretty waterfall, but it's not real. They turn it off in the winter. There's something else I wanted to mention while we were talking here, and that is in regards to my drone. You may have noticed I have not been using the drone as of lately. I just received a new drone. It was gifted to me fairly recently, and I was excited. I was excited about getting the drone back up and incorporating it into these videos. This was Possum 4. I had lost Possum 2. Possum 1 got smashed up to the point where it couldn't record anymore. Possum 2 vanished over Ghost Town Mountain. Ghost Town Mountain. I'm sorry, I almost said Guntown Mountain. Possum 2 was blown away over top of Ghost Town Mountain. And Possum 3 was stolen out of my car in San Francisco, as things in your car are in San Francisco. So someone reached out to me, said they had an extra drone, and told me that I could have it. I, graciously thanked them for this gift. I was excited to start adding some drone shots back in. My videos are not drone heavy. This isn't a channel about flying drones. I just like, occasionally like to use the drone to get a look at something from a different angle, something that maybe I couldn't see otherwise, or something that was maybe very tall, or just to get a different perspective with the drone. And so I did a few videos with the new drone. Everything was great. Loved the new drone. But then I got a phone call. I got a phone call from the FAA, the federal. What does FAA stand for? The Federal Aeronautics Association. What does it? Take a second here. The FAA is the Federal Aviation Administration. So, a gentleman from the Federal Aviation Administration, he calls me and he says, someone, a concerned citizen, has sent me your videos, and he was calling because he said you don't have a commercial drone license. So let's back up here for a second. So a concerned citizen saw my videos and sent them to a. What's that? It's the Carpetbagger. Yeah. Oh, thank you. What's that? You want to be in the vlog?
Dude, you like famous, bro. I love vlogging.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Have a good day.
Awesome. You too. All right. So where was I? Oh, look at this swan back here. You see that swan in the lake? So anyways, where was I? Okay. So, gentleman calls me from the FFA, says a concerned citizen has called and sent me your videos, and I don't have a commercial. I don't have a commercial drone license. So yeah, again, backing up. So someone, God bless them, someone out there saw my videos where I flew a drone up to take a peek at the Peachoid in South Carolina. Just a few, you know, flying the drone around, getting a better view of things. Someone saw that and they said, I don't know if Carpetbagger, I don't know what they said. But anyways, they didn't like it. They didn't like these drone videos. So someone watched my videos, picked up the phone, or sent an email. I don't know what form of communication they used, but they contacted the FFA. And they're like, I'm very concerned because in this world we live in, this world of peace and harmony, I witnessed a YouTube video that shocked me to the core. Someone flew a drone over top a water tower in South Carolina. By the way, I'm in a labyrinth suddenly. Look around me, we'll maneuver the labyrinth as we talk about this. So, this concerned citizen sent my videos to the FAA, and they pulled my information. They found out I had registered like a normal what's it, just an average drone license. It's like $5. You give them your information, you tell them you have a drone, and that's that. But what I did not have was a commercial drone license, and the gentleman from the FAA explained to me that with the normal drone license, you can fly a drone all you want. Of course, you know, you got to do it safely. You got to follow the rules. You can fly that drone as much as you want. You can fly it over the Peachoid in South Carolina, but you can't use that footage in a for-profit video on YouTube because my channel is monetized, because there's ads that run on my videos, including the drone footage that is considered commercial use. I'm not arguing that. I'm not arguing that it's not commercial use. My videos are my job. I did use a drone to film. I was unaware of this. You know, if I'm guilty of anything, it's just being ignorant. I had no idea that there was a distinction. I thought once you had that drone license, you were good. And in all fairness, I do think it's a little, I don't necessarily agree with it. It doesn't matter if I agree with it or not. I still have to follow the rules. I don't necessarily agree with that because you're still allowed to fly it. I was allowed to fly, I could fly it in every single way that I flew that drone. Where I went wrong was posting it to my YouTube channel. So I could fly the drone, I could do whatever I want with that, with the $5 certificate, but in order to use it in a commercial venture, you have to have a commercial license. So that's where we left off, talking with the FFA gentleman. I assured him that I would not be flying the drone in any way that would be contrary to the rules. You know, I was ignorant. I didn't know that I needed a specific license. Now I know. And now, for now, or you know, I cannot fly the drone. And these gentlemen from the FFA assured me he would be very angry. He would be very angry if I posted more videos with drone footage in them. So the concerned citizen was afraid of the terror from the skies, possum form, and they reported me to the FAA. So that means that I cannot use the drone footage. I can fly the drone. I can fly my drone all I want. I can fly it back and forth, up and down, but I cannot put that footage on this YouTube channel. So, you know, that leaves me a few options. Option one is just to stop using the drone. And for now, I think that's what I'm going to do. It's it's not an easy process to get the commercial drone license. It's not like you just pay a fee and you get it. You have to pass an exam. You have to study for the exam. You have to know your stuff. And you have to go and pass this exam. And you can't just take it online. It's not like an online exam or an online course. You have to go in person. So you have to schedule an appointment at like an airport. You have to go to like an airport and sit down and take this written exam. And it's also, I think it's also like $200 or something like that, I think, to take the exam. If you fail, you have to pay another $200. You know, every time you take it, you have to pay, I think, $200. It could be, I think it might be a little less than $200, but in that ballpark. So I'm gonna say for now, I am just not gonna be able to use the drone. That may change in the future. I just, with my schedule the way it is, my schedule, and I do this to myself, my schedule is crazy. I pretty much got everything booked, everywhere I'm going to be booked and planned from now through November. That's because everything's open now, and then I got haunt season, putting things into place for haunt season, and I have absolutely no way to try to study for. By the way, I've made it to the middle of the labyrinth, so I've obtained Zen. I've obtained relaxation and a pureness of soul, reaching the middle of the labyrinth here. But yeah, it's just not in the cards right now. Like I said, I have been living, I guess we'll just reverse, go through the labyrinth. I have been living on the road full time. I've been completely nomadic, not completely nomadic, but primarily nomadic since December of 2021. That's gonna change. I'm going in the process of moving back into my house that I purchased from my ex-wife, and I'll hopefully get a little more downtime then. But like I said, I'm still booked solid from here to November. I got wiggle room in certain places, but planning to be all these different places in the country, and then trying to study for and complete a commercial drone test. I just don't have the time right now. And when I get settled in, to the home, I will reassess the situation. We'll see if I do end up having a little more time, I will pursue that, because I would really like to be able to use the drone. I really want to be able to have that drone as a tool, but just priority wise, you know, the drone is not the focus of this channel. This isn't a drone flying channel. So I'm gonna have to put that on the back burner. But you know, whoever reported me to the FAA, I'm sure you're chuckling right now and pretty happy with yourself, probably happy that I am mentioning it. But you know, it is what it is. In the end, I made the mistake. I didn't educate myself enough about the current rules of droning. I know that's like one of the reasons my friend Adam the Woo, one of the reasons he stopped doing the drone was just the confusion over the laws in different places, where you could fly a drone, where you couldn't fly a drone, what the rules were. I thought I was following the rules, but turns out I wasn't. But yeah, you can fly the drone as long as you do it in a safe manner, but you can't put it in a YouTube video if you're making money. I don't know if I guess I could I could theoretically maybe put drone footage up in a non-monetized video, or like, I was gonna say Patreon, but I don't think I can do that either, because I'm charging for that. So yeah, you know, there's only one solution. That's either, I guess the two solutions are either I don't have the drone anymore and never use the drone again, or I finally buckle in and take the test to get the certified, I don't even know what it's called, I'll do more research obviously before I plunk down the money and take the test. But there is a test that you can take in person at an airport, and if you pass that test, you pay the amount, pass the test, then I can use the drone for commercial purposes, also known as putting drone footage in a YouTube video. Here's the George R. Stewart Auditorium, and we have a statue in front. This is not George R. Stewart. This is Junaluska. He is the person the lake is named after. He's kind of a tragic figure. He was a Native American chief and actually fought alongside Andrew Jackson and saved Andrew Jackson's life. Turns out that was a big mistake, because Andrew Jackson would later commit genocide against the Native people of America. So shows that no good deed goes unpunished. This giant bell here used to have a rope that you could pull and actually ring the bell, but there is no longer a rope. I don't know if the bell is broken or it just became incredibly annoying to the point that they got rid of the rope. Oh no, someone left their cool straw hat here on the bench. You know, that lake is beautiful, and for some reason, I don't know, I find natural beauty one of the hardest things to translate to a video. I mean, I think, I'm looking at it now, I can tell it's beautiful, but I don't know, a lot of times it feels like that doesn't come off in the videos. Like, I love natural beauty. I love going to places full of trees and rocks and streams and creeks and mountains and just taking in that natural beauty. But I feel like when I try to either film it or take a photo of it, like recently I visited Colorado, the Rocky Mountains, some of the most beautiful country in the world, and it just doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't translate. When I show it on this video, it just doesn't capture the majesty of what I'm showing. I think that's, I'm really impressed, like, when a photographer or a videographer can make nature look as beautiful in a photograph or in a video as it is in real life. I think that's a real accomplishment. I get something to drink here because I just swallowed a bug. Is it coming? There we go. That lemon lime Gatorade. I love the delicate sounds of nature. I also love Bushy the dog. Let's check out this topiary dog here. And yes, his name tag says that his name is Bushy. Bushy the dog. Because he's a bush that's shaped like a dog. Well, kind of shaped like a dog. So just wanted to show this because I loved it so much. This is a digital artwork of me as a Cupie, the Carpetbagger, if you will. This is done by David Sedano, who is a tattoo artist. I saw that. It just blows me away, the talent out there. Man, yeah, even I am a Cupie at this point. There truly is no escaping from the Cupies. You know, when I see things like that, it really blows me away that whatever I'm doing here, that it's having that much influence on people watching, that, you know, they're inspired to create art featuring me. That is such a strange and foreign concept, but I appreciate it so much. And yeah, well, someday I love some of the art that I've seen over the years that people created using inspiration from this channel. At some point I need to, like, get all together stuff that's been sent to me, print out the digital stuff and maybe make a collage and hang that up somewhere. It just, I don't know, but does that sound egotistical? It just, I try not to be egotistical, generally, but it means, it blows me away. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me that these videos that I started doing just to entertain myself, that somehow it has become something larger and affects other people out there in the world. Those kids stopped me while I was filming earlier. It still blows me away. It blows me away when people see me in public and know who I am. I never would have expected that. Like I said earlier in the video, like, if it makes no sense. Looking at me when I was a kid, afraid of roller coasters, hated theme parks, and now I'm doing videos about roller coasters and theme parks. And growing up, I was such a shy person and had such issues with self-esteem that it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense that people in public know who I am. And yeah, it's not, you know, it's not crazy. It's not like I can't go anywhere. But, you know, if I'm at an amusement park, if I'm at a roadside attraction, if I'm at a museum, if I'm at, you know, the type of place that I would feature in my videos, usually 9 times out of 10, someone will stop me and say, you know, I like your videos, or I've seen you. Sometimes they you know, sometimes they've seen my videos, they don't know they forgot the channel name or didn't remember me. They're like, I've seen you, you know, I've seen you on YouTube. I saw you go to Meow Wolf, or I saw you go to Kennywood. It's really just, and I've talked about this on this channel before. I am on the autism spectrum, and because of that, it hampers my ability to communicate with people. One-on-one communication with me is difficult. Obviously, I get along. I have friends. I have family. You know, making new friends is difficult for me. Communicating, just, you know, just day-to-day stuff can be a struggle sometimes. I have communication issues. I love people, I love meeting people, but a lot of times it's difficult for me to communicate and interact with people. So to think of that too, where I've had these lifelong issues, where it's difficult for me to communicate with others, that I have been able to put something out there that communicates to people. Maybe not directly, maybe, you know, I don't know they're watching it. I don't know who is appreciating this necessarily all the time, but despite all my struggles with communication, I'm able to communicate something out there, put something out there into the universe that means something to people. You know, it's not the biggest channel on YouTube. It's you know, bring in 25,000 subscribers. That's in the whole YouTube hemisphere, or biosphere, or ecosphere. That's very much a drop in the bucket. But it's so much more than I ever could have hoped for, and I consider myself to be truly blessed, because not everyone has been given the opportunity to be able to put that out there in the universe. I think some people have easier time communicating with people, easier time making friends, easier time maintaining relationships with people, but I somehow found a way to have the privilege of putting that out there in the universe. Man, it gets me. I consider myself the luckiest boy in the world, because yeah, I struggled my whole life, you know, finding my voice just as a person in day-to-day life, finding my voice to communicate with other people. And this channel, it really is my voice. And it really, honestly, before this channel came along, I would have a hard time telling you who I am. This channel really gave me the opportunity to figure out who I am, what I truly loved, and what I was passionate about, and what I wanted to put out there in the world. Am I getting I'm sorry if I'm getting mushy, if I'm rambling all over the place. This has definitely been a very rambly video. What have we talked about here? We've talked about roller coasters. We talked about me being afraid of roller coasters as a child. We talked about me being investigated by the FAA, the Federal Aeronautics Association. That's not what they're called, FAA. I looked it up earlier. Rewind back to the part of the video where I figured out what FAA stood for. But yeah, I'm sorry, it's, you know, get out here, get walking, get in nature, get that adrenaline pumping, and get those thoughts churning in my head. So if anything, this video's just been me spewing things, thinking out loud, and it's fine. If you don't like this, you can there's plenty of other videos on the channel to enjoy. And if you don't like any of those videos, then I don't even know why you're here. See the swan out there with the little, what do you call a baby swan? I don't know. Do you call them, if I remember correctly from my childhood, a baby swan is called an ugly duckling? An ugly duckling? So look at those little ugly ducklings there. They're ugly ducks, but they'll grow up to be beautiful swans. We saw some swans earlier out on the lake. Here's a monument to the first swan that was ever here at Lake Junaluska. This is Malcolm, Lake Junaluska's first swan. It looks like the sun has set, although we did make it back to the car before total darkness set in. Now, as a vlogger, you have to be careful about what you share. You know, it's very easy to overshare, share too much of your personal life, or put yourself out there. But sometimes it's nice just to be open with you guys and kind of talk about just what's on my mind. So I appreciate you guys listening to me speak. Hopefully none of that was too personal or over the line in any way. But again, thank you so much for watching. If you like these videos, subscribe. Travel around the country visiting roadside attractions, amusement parks, museums, haunted houses, and other fun stuff. If you'd like to support the channel, consider contributing to Patreon. $3 or more will get you a postcard once a month from me to you. Also selling enamel pins in the Etsy shop and doing personalized messages on Cameo. All that information is in the description of this video. And all that helps keep this train on the track, this boat in the water, and this dirigible in the air. Until next time, my friends, this one's in the bag.